Hey everyone, it's Dr. Hodges, and I am going out for a wonderful walk on this lovely day. Let me just say, this is my kind of winter. It is the beginning of March. I think it's in the 80s. It is beautiful outside. Now, I'm probably about to start sneezing because my allergies are going to run rampant because as I'm looking around, all the little buds are coming out. But hey, I will take it. I do not like the cold, so this is why I live in the South. Love it. But what do I want to talk about today? So a couple of weeks ago, I had seen on the internet several different videos where people were talking about eating a blizzard, specifically an Oreo Blizzard, to increase your muscle mass. And in fact, what was going around was that there was some special study between Mayo and Harvard that basically said after you work out, you will get more muscle mass and more weight loss if you eat an Oreo Blizzard as opposed to eating chicken and rice. And so, I mean, come on now. I just had to really look into it. This is what I do for a living. How many videos have I made about protein and specifically eating in a calorie deficit? So what I want to do today is dispel the myth. Then let me just tell you, not everything that glitters is gold. There is certainly a lot of fool's gold out there. And I will tell you, hands down, without a doubt, this is some fool's gold. Okay? So I Googled and I searched. There is no study that was performed by Harvard and the Mayo Clinic that was looking at muscle development after you eat a blizzard. That just doesn't exist. There is also, just so for you little wise guys that might be out there, you don't have to just do a Google search. Google actually has a whole separate database, just like how there's the dark web, well, there's the smart web, and that would be called Google Scholar. You would literally go to Google and you type in googlescholar.com, and then it pops up an entire new search engine that literally says stand on the shoulders of giants. And now you can search by topic, by author, by name, you name it. You can search by years, any paper that was written on any topic. And I'm telling you right now, that is pure fiction. There was no study that was ever done by Harvard and the Mayo Clinic that said that eating a blizzard after you work out will help you gain muscle. That does not exist. But to further, let's say some people say, well, Dr. Hodges, you just don't know where to look. I'm like, okay, well, if you can give me the reference so I know what journal to go to, if you have it, tell me in the comments. And if that is the case, I will make another video of me eating said Oreo Blizzard. My favorite blizzards are actually the M&M ones because they put in a little extra squirt of chocolate. But if you can tell me that citation and I can find that paper, I will post it and I will be eating an Oreo Blizzard as I read it out to you guys. However, probably not going to find that because it doesn't exist. But let's also just look at the merits of, let's compare and contrast chicken and rice to an Oreo Blizzard. And this is without doing any blinded study, randomized, controlled study. Let's just look at the facts. Okay. And I have them written down as I'm going out. So, if you get a blizzard is going to be anywhere between 600 and 1,140 calories. So 600 for small, the largest is going to be 1,100. And to put this in perspective, my metabolic rate is 1,080. So if I ate a large Oreo Blizzard, that would be all the calories I could eat in one day. Everything in one fell swoop. Okay? Now, but let's say we take, I guess, the medium. So that would be 790 calories. At 790 calories, an Oreo Blizzard is only going to give you 12 grams of protein. Whereas if you eat chicken and rice, that's about 280 calories and 25 grams of protein. So just on the merit, just that right there, for less than 3 times the calories, you can get twice as much protein if you do chicken and rice. Now, what are some interesting ideas, though, that they had when they were talking about, well, you know what? If you eat this super sweet thing that does have a little bit of protein in it, you're going to get a good outcome. So what were some of the ideas behind this that prompted this? And so one of the things that they had said in this fake study when people were kind of talking about it is, they were talking about how post-exercise, you need at least 20 to 40 grams of protein within the first 1 to 2 hours. You know what? I agree with that. That is where you're going to get the most benefit. If you're trying to gain muscle, you have to stress the muscle with training, and then you have to feed the muscle with protein and amino acids. And then, let's see, and then if you really want to get the effect, so one of the reasons why they were suggesting that you have more simple carbohydrate afterwards, why some people were saying that this could be a plausible study, is that when you take in glucose, your body is going to release insulin. There's nothing inherently wrong with insulin. Ooh, and I am all backlit. There we go. Insulin is a hormone of storage. And so if you are eating something higher in calorie, then what you want to do to feed your muscle is if you eat more carbohydrate, you'll have a spike in your insulin, and your insulin will help to direct some of that breakdown of the glucose and help you store some of that energy into your muscle. And when you're working out, your body's going to use energy from everywhere. It's going to try to tap into the energy stores in your muscles. That's in the form of glycogen, and it gets there from insulin. So part of the idea where people were like, oh no, you can have a Blizzard is, well, you have this high carbohydrate snack. It's going to help to push glucose and energy into your muscle, and that will be a good thing. The problem is that it's too much of a good thing. It's way too many calories than what your body needs. But what are some merits about this supposed study that I do agree with? I do agree that protein is important after you work out. Women, we actually have a little bit smaller window. I want to say from the most latest research is that women, we really only have like an hour after we work out. And when I say work out, I mean doing strength training for you to increase your protein intake by at least 20 to 40 grams. And some will say 20 to 40 grams. Other times I have heard that you need to do at least 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Honestly, if you just can add in like one protein drink, if you can do that, to start with, I think you're doing good. But you need to do that within an hour. Men have a little bit more time, and I haven't been able to find a lot of research as to why there's the difference between men and women. I personally think it's just because men have more lean muscle, and that buys them some more metabolic time and a more longer metabolic window for their body to utilize all those nutrients. Now, is there any book that says that? No, but that's just kind of what my thought is, because I do know that whenever my patients come to see me, men and women will lose the same percentage of weight, but men generally will lose their weight faster. And it certainly has to do with the fact that they generally will have more lean muscle, because men just have more muscle mass as a whole compared to women in the general population. Now, is there going to be women out there that have more lean muscle than men? Yes, absolutely. But as a general rule, usually men will have more compared to women. Okay, so what are the take homes? Number one, there is no study that says eating a Blizzard is going to give you good lean muscle. That's number one. Number two, don't believe everything you read. Do not be like my 10-year-old who's like, Mom, I read it on the internet. Although I will say She is very good at picking out things. She's like, that is AI. That is AI. So there's my little Gen Alpha. She's pretty good at picking out the AI stuff. But, so, don't believe everything that you read. If it looks too good to be true, oftentimes it is. You can have some fool's gold out there. And if you ever have a question, just go to my website, charlottehodgesmd.com, because I probably have something on my website or I've made a video on it on YouTube, and I'm going to help to dispel those myths for you. So if you want to enjoy a blizzard, do it in moderation. Just know you're probably not going to be growing your muscles, probably only your waistline. Okay? So, food for thought.